To the 12 tribes of the children of Israel scattered abroad, in the name of Jehovah our Creator, and Jesus Christ of Nazareth, the King who rules the world. Lily of the Valley here bringing you greeting, and we're continuing our series on the Negritos in the Philippines, identifying the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. And one of the technology used by Israelites is thatch, wattle and daub, bow and arrow. You see the grass skirts, grass clothes. Island people, the Most High says we're going to be scattered in the islands of the earth. So this is an artist illustration of the Aetas in 1885. They look just like the Caribbean Negroes. This is the Aetas illustrated in Carta Hydrographica y Chorographica de las Islas Filipinas. This is in 1734. The caption, Spaniards describe them as wild men of the mountains. And you know, we're mountain people in the Scottish Islands, in Jerusalem, in Jamaica, the Blue Mountains. That's one of the features of Negroes and Israelites, mountain living or hillside living or highlands. And also David the psalmist, I will lift up mine eyes to the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord who made heaven and earth. So Eta people in the Philippines are often grouped with other Negritos of the Austro-Melanesians, which includes other groups such as Aborigines in Australia, Papuans, Melanesians, and Solomon Islands, Vanuatu, and Fiji, and the French Overseas Special Collectivity of New Caledonia. Now remember, Caledonia is in Jamaica, it's in Scotland. So wherever you see these names, wherever the Israelites in the Americas and Britain were, they went and basically contacted or knew where the Israelites were elsewhere. Because from the days of Adam and Eve, the days of Job, the Shemites had their own area, which includes Britain. Okay, so it includes Asia Minor, it includes the islands of the sea, plus the Holy Lands, wherever the Most High gave us. That's our areas. So we're gonna show you, it's now demographic estimated about 20 to 30,000 people living in the Philippines, because they're really under severe oppression and they've been oppressed and marginalized. So now we gotta go and help them however best we can. If they want help, they can email us or reach out by comments here. Email is iahpickkneydem@gmail.com, or you can just comment on this video. But the ones who know themselves over there, the Negrillos or the Negritos, yeah, your brethren is all over the earth. Okay, so don't think we have forgotten you. So it says they have an indigenous monotheistic religion. So they believe in a supreme being who rules over lesser spirits or deities. So that's Jehovah. It's not the Mount Pinatubo, that's Jehovah, because Jehovah is Lord over all the demons, the spirits of the earth, the satanic forces of evil and good. The Most High controls all of that. They said the Etas are also animists. So that tells you that they came out of Africa somewhere, or came in contact with people who practice that. Animism is mostly Africans who do that. So the Bible says the Israelites were going to be worshiping other gods that their fathers didn't worship. They're going to be in hunger and thirst and nakedness and in want of all things. And they're going to be blessed too, because their lands are blessed and they are blessed, to survive all the things that have happened to them to this age and to not be totally crazy. It said no special occasion is needed for the Eta to pray. And prayer, comes from the Bible. But there are clear links between prayer and economic activity. Eta dance before and after a pig hunt. Well, y'all have to stop that pig hunt, because Isaiah prophesied about the Israelites who were eating the mouse and the pig. And a lot of Ghanaians do that stuff. And these things are unclean. So I saw a lot of similarities between them and the Caribbean Negroes, and especially the traditional clothing, very plain, or young men and women wear wraparound skirts. We wear that too. Elder women wear black bar cloth and a strip which passes between the legs and is attached around a string around the waist. So notice they wear foot ornaments, they wear necklaces. I think some of them wear earrings. Those are Israelite culture. They have weaving and plaiting. That's Israelite culture. The women exclusively weave winners and mats. Men only make armlets. So armlets and the foot things that they have, that's in Isaiah. They produce raincoats made out of palm leaves whose base is around the neck of the wearer and whose topmost spreads like a fan all around the body. So when you see a lot of we call it Watland Dab or the thatch huts, those are like the boots where the Israelites dwelt in. So they still have that technology too, and they have the bow. That's Israelite technology. The Scythians, the archers, that's common last name in our culture, and also the Knights of the Round Table, very good riders and archers. And bow technology is not something that's mastered by every fighting nation, but in the Bible it appears Psalm 44 verse 6 to 7, for I will not trust in my bow, nor will my sword save me, but you have saved us from our adversaries, and you have put to shame those who hate us. Yeah, because they wanted to wipe us out from the face of the earth, and we're still here. No matter what they do, we're still here. And their people will disappear from this earth before all of us do. Psalm 60 verse 4, you have given a banner to those who fear you, that it may be displayed because of the truth. Selah. Genesis 49 verse 24, but how his bow remained firm and his arms were agile from the hands of the mighty one of Jacob. From there is one shepherd, the stone of Israel. And Psalm 46 verse 9, he makes wars to cease to the end of the earth. He breaks the bow and cuts the spear in two. He burns the chariots with fire. So bow technology has always been our technology. And you see those hunter-gatherers who were the first people there and the first people in the Americas and the first people to create civilization. Hunter is a common last name in my family. It goes back to the beginning of creation. Hosea 2:18, in that day I will also make a covenant for them with the beasts of the field and the birds of the sky and the creeping things of the ground, and I will abolish the bow and the sword and war from the land, and I will make them lie down safely. So that's part of the gospel of the good news. We're not going to be fighting our enemies anymore because they're going to be subdued. And I will cut, Zechariah 9 verse 10, I will cut off the chariot from Ephraim and the horse from Jerusalem, and the bow of war will be cut off. So bow and arrow is always a part of Israelite fighting technology. Lamentations 3 verse 20, he bent his bow and set me as a target of the arrow. Your bow was made bare, and the rods of chastisement were sore Selah. You cleave the earth with rivers. Zechariah 9 verse 13, for I will bend Judah as my bow, and I will fill the bow with Ephraim, and I will stir up your sons, O Zion, against your sons, O Greece, and I will make you like a warrior's sword. So this is what's going to happen to the Grecians who enslaved us. And look, I behold a white horse, and he who sat on it had a bow, and a crown was given to him, and he went out conquering and to conquer. So Job 29:20 talks about my glory is ever new with me, and my bow is renewed in my hand. So bow technology was very familiar to the Israelites. Job 30 verse 11, because he had loosed his bowstring and afflicted me, they have cast off the bridle before me. And the Aeta people, they have their bows and their arrow just like the Israelites in the Americas, in Europe, the Scythians, the Parthians, David and his fighting men. Okay, so Zambales sounds like Zambia, where a lot of Israelites live too. Some of them are in Tarlac. Don't know what that is. Panga. So those are the Aeta people, and this person in Ghana, because I saw the familiarity with them, the Israelites in the islands, in Jamaica and with Ghana, especially the Aeta, and I remembered Eto'o. He was a Ghanaian who was playing soccer, so his name is familiar to that tribal name. And you see what he looks like? Okay. And his brother is Etienne Eto'o. Okay, and David Eto'o. So the Ghanaians, most of them were from the tribe of Judah. So, and you see the Solomon Islands, those were familiar with Solomon's children. They have some of the same things amongst the children of Israel that were pointed out, like the yellow hair, the thin yellow hair is a leprosy of the scalp. Okay, so that's what Eto'o looks like, and the Aeta people. This seems like it's somebody from Ghana. Quick Kudi, and one of my brethren on YouTube sent me this, so I thank him very much. So we will be pointing out the Israelites. So Accra, Ghana. Accra was one of the cities in Jerusalem. So you have Timah, Greater Accra, and Timan is also a Hebrew name. Okay. Among the Aeta people, the Negritoes are the Philistines, the Negrillos. They had I think, or some of them, the Cimarron. Let me show you what they call them. Bow and arrow. Aeta people. Where's the picture? Notice the word in this, the Etas, Aetas, Etas O. Cimarrones del Monte. So Cimarron, they're from the hills. The Maroons, the same thing in Jamaica, from the hills. A lot of the Maroons were from Ghana, Accra, like Nanny of the Maroons, and it's called Cimarrons. That's where we live in Portland, and we're hunters, like all the archers, the hunters, the abeng blowers. That's my tribe of people from the hills in Portland. You have like Hector's River near to there. Hector is from the Knights of the Round Table. They use the same bow and arrow technology. So whenever you see that word Cimarrons, it has to do with the Israelites. Okay. So he says the Aeta people, one of the first African natives of Asia and the original inhabitants of the Philippines. Remember, Shem's portion was also Asia Minor, the islands of the sea. Those who said the Israelites were not shippers, who built Noah's Ark? Zebulun was a haven of ships. Solomon had a navy, and that's why it's called the Solomon Islands. Ophir is mentioned, and Havilah and Joktan and Sheba. Those are sons of Shem. Remember, the Most High is going to show the Shemites the best parts of the earth where the gold and the beautiful things are. And that's why Negroes today live in the best lands in Africa, in Asia, everywhere, in the Caribbean, the Americas. So we have to learn when our enemies come with these agreements and these contracts that's land, and they come bringing gifts, to just not listen to them, because you're going to be landless soon enough. Just like what happened to us in the Americas and the islands, and in Africa, in South Africa, where they became landless as well. And then the oppressors took over their countries, and now you see they living like nobody cares for them. But we got to learn to follow the Bible and to not follow idols, because when that happens, then you get conquered or you get robbed. The Aetas, or Agta, or Aeta. Like I said, this Agta is similar to what we have in Jamaica called Agatha, and that's a Hebrew word. So the Aetas, or Aeta, are the original black race Africans that lived in scattered, isolated mountainous parts of the Philippines in the island of Luzon before the Austronesian Malay or Asian group migrations. Historians and anthropologists debate precisely when and how they migrated there. We're not going to listen to historians, we're going to listen to the Bible, because historians, especially the ones from the European side, they don't have timelines like we do. So our timelines are in the book of Joshua and in the Bible. And you see, the Bible said the Israelites were going to have bushy hair, woolly hair. They're going to wear necklaces and stuff. They're going to be in hunger and thirst, nakedness and in want of all things. So we've been through that. So now look at this. This is one of the Aeta woman in her traditional costume. This is something that comes out from probably those Israelites scattered in Europe who are worshipping Bacchus and Bacchanal and Carnival, because carnivore have to do with the flesh and Bacchanal has to do with Bacchus. So you see the same thing right there. You're going to see the same thing in like Barbados. These are the idolatrous Israelites who are worshiping that things from their forefathers taught them that. So you see it in Brazil. It's in Jamaica now. It never used to be in Jamaica, but it's there now. So they paint their face and they revel. And remember, the Bible said no revelers, people who paint their faces, are going to enter the kingdom of heaven. So this is the nakedness and the stuff that they do to this day. And that is what causes, the Israelites to reap the judgment of the Most High.